What's up, guys? We're back again, this time for a Week 6 NFL, Week 6 of the NFL season DFS breakdown. Talking about Draftkings pricing here. If you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, guys. Let me know what you guys are on this week. Let me know what you don't like. Um, guys, I actually, something like last week, I feel like we did pretty well on the channel. And I'm hoping we can carry over that momentum into this week. I think it's an interesting slate. I actually like this slate. Looking at it a second time, the games, I like it. There's some interesting angles to go on. There's a lot of ownership stuff that I think we can take advantage of this week. Um, there's a particular game that I think is really interesting that I think no one's really, a lot of people as of now are not on, and we're gonna get to that. There's some news, guys. Like always, man. In this video, this is kind of like a preliminary video. This is off the information we have right now. Now, there's a big key to this slate that we're gonna have to find out about, and that's the health of David Johnson. If David Johnson does not play, Chase Edmonds becomes like a free square on DraftKings. Like, you're almost gonna have to play him. He's I think close to the minimum, so we're gonna have to. I hope David Johnson plays, but if he doesn't, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, guys. But just fix my hair real quick. But like always, guys, it's just the first. This is a preliminary breakdown video, but we're gonna do the best we can with the information we have available to us right now. Not too much is gonna change up until Sunday. But guys, remember, I always go back in the comment section of this video and I do my final thoughts. Guys, you don't have to play the guys that I'm on. Remember, make your own decisions. These are just the guys that I am playing. Okay? Yeah, guys, like a lot of times my breakdown videos are better than my final thoughts. So take that for what it's worth. And without further ado, man, let's get into the slate. I'm not talking about the London game because that's not on the slate, and we're not talking about the primetime games. So I mean, just to hit on the game tonight, Thursday night, that game's going to be terrible, man. Those two teams are banged up. The Jets and the Giants and the Patriots. I like the under in that game. I think it's going to be a snooze fest. But I don't know. That's the yucky game. I wouldn't want to watch. I'm glad I have to work tonight because I would not want to watch that game. So the first game I see on the schedule is Seattle at Cleveland. This is an interesting game, man. This is a very interesting game. I think Cleveland bounces back here. Everyone's going to be. We've already seen when Cleveland did bad in prime time. They played the Ravens the next week. They bounced back when nobody was on them. This is a weird spot because now everyone is like Beckham and Landry are two of the highest owned receivers on the slate. I found that to be very interesting, man. This Cleveland offense has been bad all year. It's been very inconsistent, and I just struggle with Beckham being 20% owned. I'm just not. Sorry, guys. I'm just not sure that how he's being used in this offense and the bad offensive line justifies that. But this is like a perfect matchup for him because Seattle doesn't pressure the quarterback. So their offensive line, they're at home. They're probably not going to show as much as it usually does. So I can get on Beckham here. I can. I did like Chubb originally. I'm kind of fading on that, man. The only running back we've seen kill Seattle is Alvin Kamara, and that was through a lot of pass catching usage, which Chubb. Sorry, I was trying to fix the lighting here. I don't know what's going on. Which Chubb doesn't really do a whole lot, at least consistently. So, on the Seattle side, I think there's two guys that are really interesting. I think Chris Carson is in play. I think this Cleveland rush defense can be had, and Carson's one of those few guys that we know is going to get the volume. So I like Chris Carson. I also like Tyler Lockett. We saw Cooper Kupp destroy Cleveland in the slot. I like Tyler Lockett a lot, man. And I think people are. I think it's an interesting strategy to just play Lockett here. But like I said, I kind of feel like the Browns are going to bounce back here, and I feel like this. I don't know. Like I'm going to say it again. I think the Browns bounce back here. I don't mind Nick Chubb. You certainly can play Nick Chubb. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more examination onto the Seattle rush defense specifically. But as of now, everyone's on the passing game, which just gives me a little bit of pause. I do see why people are on it, and maybe I'm overthinking it, but hey, that's just my thoughts in this. My main takeaway here is I do think Cleveland wins this game and bounces back. I know, guys, here's the thing with these videos. I don't want to overload you guys with like 50-man player pool, but I also don't want to lie to you guys and tell you that I have a specific read unless I have a specific read. Okay, I try to make the guys I recommend as thin as possible. Remember that. So on Cleveland, man, it's really just Beckham or Chubb. Okay, and on Seattle, it's Lockett or Carson. I'll probably narrow it down a little bit more as the week goes on my Saturday update, but that's where we're at right now. I can't pretend like I like one significantly more than the other. Moving on to Houston and Kansas City, I think this is an interesting game. Everyone thinks this game is going to be a shootout. I don't agree. I think I like the under in this game a lot. I like the Houston side in this game. I think Kansas City wins, but I think they win ugly, and I think Houston covers. I can't play Hyde here. I did think about putting him in my player pool. I put down Hopkins and Fuller. The more I start thinking about this game, the more I kind of like Will Fuller over DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think it feels point chasey to me. Hopkins is another guy who's 20% owned right now. Will Fuller is like 12% owned. Kansas City, the only big game they've given up to a receiver this year is from DJ Chark, and that was like he was going over the top of him and burning him. That's what Fuller does. That's his game, man. So I like Will Fuller here, man. Like I said, I did originally write down DeAndre Hopkins, but the more I think about it, the more I think I like Will Fuller here more than Hopkins. And another guy, if you think Kansas City is going to be ahead by like a touchdown or 10 points, you can dart throw Duke Johnson at 4,100. I don't mind that at all. I believe the last time Duke Johnson played Kansas City, he had 30 points against him last year with Cleveland. So keep that in mind. Because this defense can be had by pass-catching running backs too. So keep that in mind as well. This Kansas City defense is awful. They're one of these defenses, man. They're like Miami. They're bad against everything. They're bad against the run. They're bad against the pass. They're bad against tight ends. They're bad against running backs. They're bad everything, man. These are the defenses that I hate in DFS because it's hard to pinpoint how to beat them. Okay, so guys, like I said, I like the Houston players here. Kansas City guys, this receiving core is just like on Kansas City. You could play Kelsey. Houston's actually been pretty good against tight ends this year. Maybe that's just a facade because they haven't played a good one yet. But I guess I'd play Kelsey here because their pass-catching core is depleted, man. And this could be a Kelsey spot just for volume alone. Kelsey looked terrible on Sunday Night Football, man. I watched a little bit of that, man. Man, he looked awful. He did not look good. So maybe he bounces back here. He definitely, I didn't write him down, but he could be in play here too. Washington at Miami, the toilet bowl. Okay, Adrian Peterson on Washington, and on the other side, you could play Parker or Preston Williams. Okay, you could, if you wanted to get crazy, you could play Rosen. But guys, I like Adrian Peterson in this game. I really do. I think Peterson is going to be low owned, and don't ignore the game log, man. Guys, when you play guys like Adrian Peterson, you're depending on the game flow. You're depending on that Washington's nursing a lead. Washington's favored in this game, which surprised me. Miami's coming off a bye week, and they're still 3-point underdogs at home. I thought that looks fishy, but you have to kind of. This is one of those lines, man, that when I thought of the line in my head, I thought Miami was going to be favored in this game, and then I saw Washington. It was such a massive difference from what I expected it to be that I must be missing something. I must be not seeing something that Vegas sees, and I'm going to trust Vegas over myself here in this specific instance, and I'm going to go Adrian Peterson. You could run it back, like I said, with dart throw, cheap Miami receiver, totally viable, but not something that I am jamming into my teams. If it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, whatever. Washington's just outside boundary defense against receivers, garbage. We're going to be attacking that all year, man. All year. So let's move on to the next game. It's Philadelphia at Minnesota. This is an interesting game. Okay? I think Minnesota at home is going to score in Philly. The question is, can Philly score in Minnesota in Minnesota? If they can, this could be a sneaky little, I don't think it's going to be a full shootout, but I think it could be like a 28-24 game, a type of game where like a mini game stack could definitely work. Like a 3-man, like a Cousins to a receiver, run it back with Ertz. And in this game, on Philly, my guy I like is Zach Ertz. But I don't like it that much because Zach Ertz is being priced for his role last season. Zach Ertz should be around 5K. Zach Ertz should be beneath 5K. He shouldn't be near 6K. We haven't seen him even come close to hitting that upside this year. So I can't, I know I just said you could play Ertz if you really wanted to. This could be one of those spiked weeks where he hits upside. But, man, it's so hard to pay that price tag for him, man. This game's going to have to turn into a really fast-paced game where they're trailing and he just gets like 13 targets. I don't know. He's in play, but he's not someone I'm, like, excited to pay up for. On the other side, I like Cousins to Diggs this week. And the reason I like Diggs is because Philadelphia gets burned deep on the outside. Thielen's more of the short intermediate receiver. Diggs is more of the long receiver. At least I think so. And last week was Thielen's week to eat. This week I think it's Diggs' week to eat. Could play Thielen too, man. Who am I to stop you? Thielen's way too. Both these guys are way too cheap. You could even play a double stack if you really want to get crazy. Probably wouldn't do that, but probably would just pick Thielen or Diggs. I like Diggs because he's cheaper. And I think he offers similar upside to Thielen when he hits a ceiling. And he's cheaper. Diggs is 7% owned right now. I like Diggs in this spot. I do. Because you cannot run on Philadelphia. I don't like Cook this week. I like, they're going to have to throw the ball more than they usually do, even more than last week against the Giants. And the Eagles will keep up with them a little bit. So they're going to have to be in a pass-happy game script. So I like Cousins to one of the receivers here. Moving on here, New Orleans at Jacksonville. On New Orleans, it's Alvin Kamara. Definitely in play here. And on Jacksonville, I do like Fournette's price and his usage a lot, so he's definitely in play for me, but I'm starting to like D.D. Westbrook. I wish he was a little bit cheaper than 5,100 because I've just never seen him hit. At that price, guys, you want a 28, 30-point game. We've never seen D.D. do that. Actually, no, he did have a big game against the Jets last year. But I'm a little apprehensive about playing D.D. Westbrook at that price. But he has a great matchup. Everyone's going to DJ Shark. DJ Shark's probably not going to burn Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore's playing great right now. So he's a hot and cold corner. We're definitely going to attack him as the season goes on because he's a hot and cold corner, kind of like Marcus Peters. He plays good and he plays bad. But I'm going to attack P.J. Williams in the slot here and hope that if the Saints just beef up and stop Fournette, which they probably will wind up, that will be their game plan most likely. They're going to have to move the ball through somebody, and it's probably going to be D.D. Westbrook. Chris Conley, I just don't like that he's 4,100. If he was like really, really like 3K or around 3K, I'd say Chris Conley can burn Eli Apple, but I just don't like that price tag for Chris Conley. I'd rather play D.D. Westbrook. You can definitely play Minshew if you wanted to, too. I think Minshew's going to get popular as the week goes on, though. So it gives me a little bit of pause there. This also could be just a snooze-fest, low-scoring game. But let's move on. Cincinnati at Baltimore. Tricky spot, man. Everyone thinks this is a get-right spot for the Ravens. It could be. Could be. On the Cincinnati side, I like Tyler Boyd. I think whatever game script is, Boyd's going to be fine. The Ravens can't defend slot receivers. Boyd definitely could blow up here. On the other side, I like Mark Ingram and Mark Andrews. I like those two guys. Lamar, I don't know, man. He's the highest on quarterback on the slate right now. I'm not sure I like that. I do like Lamar Jackson, but he's hot and cold. When he's chalk, man, it's just tough to play him. And he seems like he's going to be one of those guys where when he's high owned, you fade him, and when he's low owned, you play him. He's going to be one of those types of guys, kind of like a, I don't know an example off the top of my head, but he's kind of, I don't know. I also could see Cincinnati like making this an ugly, low-scoring game and kind of putting up a fight and being able to get away with playing like the Cincinnati defense, because Lamar does throw a lot of interceptions. He turns the ball over a lot. So if you need a cheap defense, I don't even mind this scenario where you have to play Cincinnati's defense. I know they're horrible. I know they're garbage. But, guys, I could see them scoring a defensive touchdown. So if they're super cheap, I don't mind them, especially with all the ownership on the Ravens. You get some leverage there in GPPs. And guys, like we've said before, I'm in this to win GPPs. I don't play to grind out a profit. I play to win big money. So you have to be willing to take chances. I don't mind Cincinnati's defense. Sorry, guys. Just got a text message. Moving along to San Francisco and the LA Rams. Interesting game here, man. This is going to be this is the game I'm the most excited to watch this week. There's going to be a dogfight. I think San Francisco wins. I like the San Fran defense and Kittle for San Francisco. Could play Tevin Coleman. I don't mind Tevin Coleman either, but I like the San Francisco side here. The only guy on LA I like is Cooper Kupp, and it's moderate interest. Gurley might not play. If Gurley doesn't play, you could dart throw Darrell Henderson. I got a lot of him in best ball drafts, so I do hope that he turns around the start to the season, gets some more playing time, but, you just don't know. So it's really just Kupp on the Rams for me, and it's Kittle in the defense mainly, dart throw Tevin Coleman, but I think I like Adrian Peterson more than Tevin Coleman at a similar price tag. ATL at Arizona. Interesting game, man. If David Johnson's out, you're going to have to play Chase Edmonds most likely. On the Atlanta side, everyone's going to Hooper. I think Hooper's going to be pretty chalky this week, rightfully so. 5K is getting expensive for Austin Hooper. I do think he catches a touchdown. Do I think he crushes his price tag? I'm not sure. I think I like Julio more in this spot than Hooper. On the other side, I like Kyler is very low owned right now. He's 6,500, which just seems disgusting and too pricey for him. But guys, Atlanta can't stop anybody, man. Atlanta's garbage defense. Kyler could be a low owned play in tournaments. You could game stack this game up. Go, run. You guys know what I'm talking about. It could be a high scoring shootout. But Kyler, I like Larry Fitz a lot in this spot. I think Larry Fitz this is a great matchup for him. Could be a high scoring game, man. Could be a very high scoring, fast paced game that you're gonna want a piece of. But we need more info on David Johnson. I'm telling you what, if David Johnson's healthy, I'm not playing him. They don't feature him in this offense. He's just a part of the offense. If he was like 65, 66, 67, I would no problem playing him. And guys, if they fed him the ball, this offense would be way better off. I'm telling you, it just would. They don't have an offensive line to establish that, and they don't get the weapons on the outside and to make this offense go the way they want it to go. They should have just fed David Johnson the ball this year to get their feet wet. They would have won more games if they did. Okay. The next game is Tennessee at Denver. This is a really simple game. I love Derrick Henry in this spot. Love Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's due for a blow-up game, kind of like Fournette was against Denver. I like Henry a lot in this spot. Denver just got a big win. I don't see them winning back-to-back games. Although the more I think about it, Denver did. They've had a very slim margin of losing this year. They've lost a bunch of games by a combined 25, 30 points. So. They make pretty competitive, sneakily competitive this year. So I do respect the Broncos, but their rush defense is garbage. So I do like Henry in this spot. That's the guy I would play. And on the other side, I like Noah Fant a little bit as a dart throw. If you need a cheap tight end, you could. But guys, he's gonna if he hits, he's gonna get you 10 to 12 points. He's not gonna. I don't see him having a 30-point game like Kittle or Hooper could have, or Andrews could have. I see him getting you 12 points and You can, but the thing is, guys, just like Jared Cook last week, is when you play those cheap tight ends, it allows you to jam in more guys that you couldn't if you paid up for a tight end. So you got to think about that. You got to think about that, guys. Move on from that game. My favorite game of the slate, Dallas at the Jets. Guys, the Jets are 0-4, I believe. The Jets need to win this game, man. Their season's going into a tailspin. Adam Gase is going to be feeling the heat if they start 0-5, man. Even with the Darnold injury, just totally unacceptable. They have been so bad this year, man. So, Dallas, after this game, has the hardest schedule in the NFL. They need to win this game. Zeke is chalk right now. I know C.J. Mosley's supposed to be out again. As of right now, guys, I like Dak in a double stack with Amari and Gallup. There's no reason to not play it. The Jets secondary is so bad. Dak is 7% right now. Amari and Gallup are both under 3%, 4% owned right now, which is mind-boggling. Amari at 7K is a joke, man. That's a joke. He can crush that price. A perfect matchup for him. Love Amari Cooper. Love Michael Gallup. Love Dak Prescott. And then I also, on the other side, love Le'Veon Bell. Love Jamison Crowder. Robbie, I don't like in this matchup for the reason that Dallas plays a zone defense, and they kind of take away that big, explosive, over-the-top play. They let up more. They kind of like the Colts. They keep everything in front of them. Well, the Colts defensive coordinator came from the Dallas system, and that's what they do. They kind of keep everything in front of them. So Jamison Crowder is the play here for a receiver. You could play Sam Darnold if you want to, too. But I think Dak Prescott has a way higher ceiling than Sam does at a relative price tag. So I actually do like Le'Veon Bell, though, man. I've gotten on him as a week on zone. 6,400 is way too cheap. He catches a bunch of passes. But my game stack that I like here is Dak double stack with the two receivers, run it back with Bell, Crowder. I think this game is going to be a shootout. At least my early thoughts in this game is that it's going to be a shootout. Could change. The last time Dak Prescott went to MetLife Stadium, it was that Week 17 game against the Giants, just destroyed him. I think he had like a 40-point Draftkings game, maybe even higher. Just crazy game, man. So I love this game. Two teams that need to win, man. The Jets are going to have to win this game. They're going to have to try to win this game to salvage their garbage season. Okay, just to show their fans they have some fight in them, man. They might not have to win. They have to show something here, man. They have to show something. Dallas needs to win. They got a brutal schedule coming up. Dallas, if they lose this game, probably won't make the playoffs. I know seems like a bold statement, but they might not. And as for the Zeke's the highest owned running back on the slate. I don't know about that, man. Zeke is not, with this decimated offensive line, we just have not seen Zeke look like Zeke of old. We just haven't seen it yet. So why play him as chalk? I'm not going to do that, man. We've seen this, guys, this year. Guys, the high-priced running backs are more, other than McCaffrey, are very sporadic this year. You can't depend on them. 8,500 for Zeke. That means 30-point game, 30-point plus game. Don't know, man. I don't know if I like that, man. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, man. But I like this game a lot. Everyone's gonna go to that Arizona game in the 4:00 window. I like this game. This is my game I'm attacking. So, guys, with that being said, I do wanna tell you guys that in the next about 2 weeks, guys, I have a lot of stuff going on with school. So, the videos, I probably will make them still. They're going to be pretty short. I'm just going to get right down to business, and I've got a lot of stuff coming up, so I'm going to be very busy. I still am, like I said, going to get the videos up, but they're not going to be as long in length as these ones are. But we'll get back to this after my midterms are over. So we'll see. Maybe I can get more done than I'm expecting to, and still make the videos the same length. It's not that big of a deal, guys. Guys, the things I talk about in the videos, they carry over into the next weeks. You know what I mean? Like, we're still attacking the same things on all the teams we've talked about in the previous videos. Nothing's really changed. Injuries are going to happen as the season goes on. That stuff is going to dictate different pivots we're going to make in attacking defenses. But as of right now, man, I like this slate a lot. I think this is an interesting slate. I think it's a good slate to play GPPs and make a couple different teams, because I think there's a lot of different scenarios that could play out here. I really do. I think there's a lot of different games that could shoot out. So, with that being said, guys, leave a comment down below. Let me know the plays you guys are on. Let me know anything that you're not on this week. And, I appreciate everybody watching the videos, man. You guys are awesome. I'm hoping we can roll over what I feel like was a good week last week into this week. And with that being said, guys, have a great day. I will update this video in the comment section on Saturday, let you know my final thoughts. Also, disclaimer, like we've already mentioned before, it doesn't mean you guys got to follow anything I'm saying. Those are just what I'm doing. You guys are free to discard all the information if you want to. I just make this to give you guys my perspective, as we've talked about. With that being said, I appreciate everyone watching. Have a great day.